Poquito de agüita.
See, we're on. Are we
Uh-huh.
on? Hi, good morning,
We are.
afternoon, or evening.
Yes, hello,
How is
everyone.
everyone? Welcome to our live.
Our,
Say hello.
our weekly program,
Our weekly Friday.
A Day with Your Soul.
Yes, Fridays in English and Thursdays in Spanish.
Yes, yes, definitely. So welcome
So my name is
all.
Jana Altagracia. I'm here with my
María
Del
del
Sol, and we
Sol.
welcome you all to the channel.
Yes, definitely. So, Janet, how are you doing
Today
today?
I'm good. I was just sharing with Maya. I felt a little sleepy after I finished work, but I'm wide awake right now, excited for this really juicy topic that hopefully it will not trigger me. It's
No,
one of those
I don't. I
topics.
cannot promise that it won't happen,
So like if
Janet.
you see me doing faces like this, you know what's happening.
Yes, because definitely betrayal usually triggers us.
Yeah, that is a toughy
All of
one.
us. It is a toughy one because this is a memory that not only happened to us, but it has happened in all systems of life. If we think about when this really started,
Mm-hmm.
we really don't have a clue.
That's true.
We don't have a
Yeah.
clue. Just think of what happened, for example, if you were a king and they didn't want you anymore to be, reigning,
Right. Yes.
then they will poison you. That would be
Right.
a betrayal.
Yes. And
This,
we know that happened a lot. So yes.
yes. So betrayal happens in so many ways, and many energies are involved. We can talk about lying. When someone lies to us, we feel betrayed,
Mm-hmm.
right? We could say that betrayal also carries the energy of abuse. Yes, when we feel
Mm-hmm.
abused, we feel like you betrayed me. I trusted in you and I
Mm-hmm.
felt betrayed. We can talk about cheating, infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else comes to you?
When we betray ourselves.
When we betray ourselves, that's another way of betrayal. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be talking a little bit about all of this tonight. Our topic tonight, of course, is the wound of betrayal. And so we welcome you all. Before we begin, we want to talk a little bit about what's going on. Tomorrow we will have our
Drumming circle.
drumming circle. It's a shamanic drumming circle.
You're all invited.
You are all invited. If you live in town, welcome to join us. It's at 7 p.m. And we are always happy to have you here because it is a way to connect with a tribe. It
Mm-hmm.
is a way to channel. It is a way to connect to your own source. It is, you can be also the expression of the spirit through you, and so it's just a different ways of connecting and sharing in a conscious tribe. So we welcome you all. If you live in town, welcome. We begin at 7. So send me a message if you feel like you want to come. And so my number is 321-900-5680.
It is a wonderful experience.
It is an amazing
It
experience.
is.
And
Mm-hmm.
also because when you feel in the company of others that think alike, or sometimes we think like, oh, I don't know, it's just like this isn't my place, this isn't my tribe. But when you get to a place where there is no judgment, there is no expectations, and you can be just yourself, then then that's the tribe to be, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
what
call
we do
it
here.
just
Yes.
enjoying pure love. That's what we give you. Pure love.
Unconditional
Yeah, unconditional, pure
love.
love,
It
and
doesn't matter where you are in your mind, in your
full
heart.
acceptance. We're here
Yes.
to support and wherever you are.
We are here to support each other, so we welcome you to come to our tribe. We are meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Oh, we have our training program coming
Yes.
up in February 2024. And so if you are interested on going deeper in that soul work, because we go very deep in the training program. So we welcome you to join us. We will be having this in presence, so it will be physically in Deltona, right, Janet?
Yes,
Deltona. Yes, so we're announcing right now that we have registrations open, and you can contact Janet. What's your number?
It's 407-460-5756. And also contact me because I'll be doing intros in Daytona. So if you want to come and participate in one of the intros so you can understand and get a feel for it and see if it resonates with you, definitely give me a call. And always come with a friend.
Yes, and also to have the experience, because
Absolutely.
in the intro, it's not only about understanding, but about having an experience. Because when you have the experience, you can say, "Oh, now I understand." Yes,
Definitely.
yes, because all the words we share, we might understand them, but to really make them real within yourself, you must feel them. So it's all about feeling, and the experience always gives you that sense of, oh, I know how it feels.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
I always say that's a secret source, the feelings.
yes, the feelings. So before we begin our topic today, we also want to invite you to, well, if you, after hearing everything that you will be hearing here, just to share this with others, that if you feel like you resonate, oh, that I never saw it this way. And so if you resonate with it, then we invite you to share this information. Also, if afterwards you feel like, oh, maybe I should constellate that, because I can see that I'm carrying that energy of betrayal. So I'm magnetizing or attracting these sort of experiences that are connected or aligned with betrayal, means that you can heal that. Just know that it is possible to heal that.
Isn't that wonderful? I
Isn't
love
that
it. I
amazing?
love it.
Oh my gosh, I would say that that is amazing, that we can have a tool to heal things that, oh, so how can I control this? And we don't need to control it. We just need to heal it.
Right, to heal
Yes,
it. Absolutely.
yes, definitely.
Understand it and transmute it,
Exactly.
evolve it, all those powerful words.
Integrated,
Integrate it.
because one of the
Accept it.
hardest things
Yeah.
that we don't like doing is we tend to reject that sort of energy, betrayal, infidelity, lying, cheating, all of that sort of energies. We tend to reject them, but at the same time, if we have them healed them, then they
Keep
continue
we keep recreating them.
recreating them and persist. They persist in our lives, and we don't want any more of that, right?
Yes,
We don't want any more
definitely.
of that, not only for ourselves or for yourself, but also for the system of life. Because once you heal something, you heal it for the wholeness. So that's the
Yeah.
beauty of this work, family and systemic constellations, or systemic work. Sometimes people get confused about what family constellations are, and this isn't about astrology. This is about healing the family system, unresolved memories, and also the ancestors. And if you want to know more about it and you still don't know that I wrote this book.
Right. And like I always say, buy the book. And this book right here is a wonderful, very deep introduction, but it's a deep introduction.
Mhm.
But it'll get everything going. And then, once you read this book, you always want to go for seconds and for thirds and for fourth.
And
So
then hopefully to a training
to the
program.
training program. So you start with this book, it gives you a lot of exercises. It's very thorough, very deep. And then you also have the other program.
Yes, and we have, if you don't like reading, because we are covering all the fronts, if you don't like reading, then you can we have a digital program, and it is in the Hatmart platform. It's called hatmart.com, and the program is called The Soul's Journey. The Soul's Journey in hatmart.com. Yes?
And the beauty about that program is that you actually have Maya, our teacher, actually doing the exercises with you.
Yes.
So that is very powerful and very profound. So you can just sit and just like it's doing many family constellations.
It's like doing 22 family constellations because it is the exercises that are here. Thing is that when you read, it's different than when you say it with your own voice, and when you listen to what I'm saying, and then you get a different awareness.
You're being guided,
Yes,
guided. Yeah. So the
exactly.
same.
Because when you read, sometimes if you're not a good reader, let's say, you tend to read fast. And these exercises cannot go fast because they need some time to be absorbed.
Yeah.
So that's why we do recommend you Soul's Journey. It has a different way of feeling the energy of healing the ancestors. So
Yes.
that's it.
Yes, I
Yes,
think we're good. I think now we're
we're good to
ready.
begin. Yes, let's begin then. Let's go right to the point. And so our topic tonight, for the ones that are joining, I see some people joining in Instagram. Thank you so much. Our topic tonight is the wound of betrayal. And we want to talk a little bit about behaviors, because sometimes we have these behaviors and we don't know why we act in certain ways, that we want to protect ourselves, or we want to make sure no one is going to hurt us, right? And it's unconscious.
Mhm.
And we learn that. We learn how to protect ourselves from someone who can betray us. And so we're going to be talking about behaviors, also the root cause of this conflict, because it goes deeper than what we think. Yes. So,
And why we attract us, Maya?
exactly, why do we attract people who betrayed us?
I mean, why?
Why? And usually we have the tendency to have a guilty one out there, right? It's like,
So
oh,
easy to place blame.
it's
So
the
easy.
easiest to say, it was you, it was him, it was her, it was this, it was that. And then I'm pointing out, but I forget to do this and point at here. Because if you have this energy in your information, because our DNA is carrying, our epigenetic is
Hmm.
carrying the information of betrayal. And if you don't know because you haven't reviewed your family system stories, right? It is well done. It is well said when this phrase that says those who don't know their history are
Tend
condemned
to repeat
to
it.
repeat it.
Hmm.
Yes. So we in this systemic work, we um, we self-observe, and instead of finding guilty ones or blaming others, we take responsibility of our part.
Hmm.
Yes, of course, um, we know maybe we attracted this other person who also has the same energy. Yes, usually you attract someone. If you attract someone to betray you, then maybe you become the victim of betrayal, right? But if it is the other way, maybe you are the perpetrator, right? Unconsciously, because you also learn that. And that's what love is. Maybe if we're talking about a relationship and you have a wife or a husband, and all of a sudden someone comes in the scene and you have that temptation to go outside of home and have an affair, let's say, and you don't want to do it, but you uh, fall into it, then you become the perpetrator. But it's because maybe your father did it with your mother, or your mother did it to your father, or grandpa did it to grandma. And so the whole family system is carrying the energy, and you are repeating the pattern unconsciously. Of course, we don't want that, but it is what we are supposed to live until one of the descendants says, hold on, this isn't normal, because it isn't normal. What is normal is to respect the other, and to
Hmm.
feel respected by the other, to find that equilibrium, that balance. And if that's lacking in your life, then there is something that you must review. And that's why we're here tonight. We will be talking about the wound of betrayal. And this comes from a book called The Five Wounds That Don't Allow You to Be Yourself The author is Liz Bourbeau. And if you want to read the book, I highly recommend it because
I'm in the middle of reading it myself.
it's an amazing
It
book.
is an
It will
amazing
give
book.
you lots of understanding of those why it happened to me, or why do I act in this way? Why do I behave in this way? And we are going to be talking specifically about the betrayal tonight.
It helps you understand your insecurity.
Yes.
And then, mask, what? We wear masks.
Mhm.
It was an eye opener.
Yes. So when do these wounds started, right? Because we're gonna understand that what you're living today didn't start with the one who betrayed you, right? It started when you were very young, between 3 to 5 years old is when the energy appears.
Mm.
And this happens when, for example, um, let's say that the boy and the mother have this sort of alienation and they exclude the father, let's say. Yes, so there is a triangulation because when we talk about betrayal, usually is a sort of a triangulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And or a sort of that energy of victim and perpetrator. So let's say that a triangulation happens if we talk about infidelity.
Mm-hmm. An
Is
unwanted
between
person comes.
exactly. So usually in a betrayal scene of infidelity,
Mm-hmm.
there are three parts, right? And so when did you learn that, or how did it happen that when you were a child you learned that? So let's say that you are a daughter, and then let's say that you are very close to your father, and that your father prioritized you even before the wife. So somehow this wife or this is going to be feeling some sort of jealousy with this daughter. And let's say this daughter, who since she's like 3 or 5 years old, she gets into the bedroom
Mm-hmm.
and it's in the middle of the bed and I want to sleep here and in the middle of you too. Yeah. And one of the parents allowed that. So it's like I'm getting in the middle of a relationship. And maybe eventually you become the one who is in the middle of a relationship.
You see what I mean? Like when she said that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yes,
That's exactly what happens sometimes. We as parents, we don't even think about it. We just let the child sleep in the middle.
yes, exactly. Unconsciously, we don't know it, but when a couple does that, for example, they have issues with intimacy. So the perfect excuse is a child in the middle. And when this happens, the relationship, of course, the couple's relationship, the intimacy starts like getting apart. And then the dynamic of husband and wife changes. And the passion somehow is lost as well. All of this happens just because you allow certain dynamics from the beginning when the children want to interfere somehow in a relationship.
Well,
Yes.
like they say, they want to be with mommy and daddy, but
Mhm.
it's like now we see that it's interfering in the relationship.
Yes,
There's a proper place.
and you must prioritize if
Hmm.
you are a relationship between a husband and wife. They both should taking care of that relationship.
Yeah, it's like
Yes,
that needs to be sacred, Maya.
it's sacred. It's a
I
sacred
think that's one of
space.
the things that we are not brought up in understanding that aspect has to be very sacred.
Exactly. So let's say also, let's talk about betrayal, or how you would have a perspective as a child of betrayal. Let's say that you have a sibling and somehow you feel that your mom, who is the one that you love the most, prefers the other one, my sibling, my sister, my brother. And somehow, when mom doesn't give me that sort of attention or recognition, because betrayal has to do a lot with recognition, I want to be recognized. So the behavior of this child would be like, I would do anything for my parents to recognize me, to see me, to have me as the number one. I want to be the number one for mom and dad. And so they become very competitive. Yes. And so when mom or dad, let's say you feel like they have a preference, you feel like mom or dad betrayed me because they didn't choose me as number one. Yes. So that is a sort of energy of betrayal right there.
Exactly. And we do it so unconsciously.
Yes, exactly. We do it so unconsciously. And that, of course, keeps happening unconsciously in your life. So you are always fighting to be number one, because usually the wound of betrayal is trying to get recognized. And I want to be number one for everybody. And the wound of betrayal has a lot of features, let's say, or traits. For example, they um, they have this thing that they learn how to manipulate, or like whatever I want, I can manipulate it to get it.
That's why I'm so good at that.
Johnny.
So you can bring a little humor to this. It's a deep topic.
It is, of course, because I want things the way I want them, and I want to control it all.
Anybody say
Oh,
put their hand up for that?
we all have been there, I would say, right? We want to
Yeah.
control it, and we want to make sure things are the way I want them. Because if they are not the way I want them, I feel them that something is wrong and they betrayed me. All the perspectives that this person is going to feel, I feel betrayed. Yes. Also, let's say that I cannot delegate because I cannot trust in anybody. Let's say at work, I cannot trust in anybody because if they don't do things as I want them, I feel betrayed. So that's another sort of a behavior that you feel like you have to be on top of everybody. How are you doing? How is that happening? And it's a sort of not resting energy, because it's hard for a person with a wound of betrayal to feel at peace. They usually have their nervous system, you know, like under control, because they have fear of something is going to happen to me. So I have to make sure that that's not going to happen to me. So I need to be in control of everything, and I need to manipulate things to be the way I want them. And I cannot trust in anybody.
That's pretty tough to live a life like that constantly.
Yes, it's tiring. It's very tiring that let's say that you have a relationship and that you cannot feel comfortable with, because I don't know what the other one is doing. Should I be texting, calling? What are you doing? Where are you? With who? You know, so all of these things are a tendency, because there is something behind that is not the other, it is you.
And just think of what all of that is doing to the body.
Of course.
Yeah.
So they are very fiery, of course, in fire all the time, fire, fire, fire. And let's talk a little bit about the root of this. Yes, because if you feel that you cannot trust in others, then you should take a look at your parents. Yes. So let's say, who didn't trust? Like, did mom trust in dad, or did dad trust in mom, or they just couldn't trust to each other? Was there infidelity? Because if there was infidelity, means that this one started in your system even before mom and dad. Probably the grandparents are carrying it, or the great grandparents are carrying that. And so the energy is an inheritance that all the system knows it, so we cannot trust in anybody. Yes. And we're not talking here only about infidelity. Let's talk about businesses. Let's say that um, a grandpa had a partner, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then that partner stole everything from him. So this father, let's say, or this grandfather that we were talking about, a grandfather, um, you know, or let's say that everything that was important for him to feed the family was gone by this other person. Yes, so in this case, we would say that this grandpa needs to include the perpetrator. This is what doing the systemic work. It's important to understand this.
So
And you will say,
I want her to repeat that because that was the part I struggle with.
yes,
So Maya, will you repeat that?
of
That
course,
grandpa.
needs to include the perpetrator.
And I take a deep breath.
Yes, 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 because if we don't do this inclusion sincerely,
Mhm.
understanding that why did grandpa attracted into his life someone who would betray him and steal everything from him, because that's a wound of betrayal. Probably this issue didn't start with that partner. Probably it started before in his own family system. Maybe his own grandparent or his own grandpa went through the same situation. So this grandpa is repeating the pattern with another partner in
Mhm.
his new reality. Yes. So that means that there is a perpetrator who steals that hasn't been included in the system, because in the systemic work, the perpetrator, um, once it interferes in the system, positively or negatively, it already belongs.
And you do feel at peace once you do that, but it is a tough one to kind of wrap your head around it.
Yes, it is. It is sometimes hard to accept it and to say, but why should I accept this person as part of my system? Because it did interfere in your system. And because since then, it affected the whole system. Maybe this grandpa, right, who was the provider, couldn't provide anymore. And that affected the whole family system. And so it did affect
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And so if we include this perpetrator, let's say, we can say, oh, you belong, you're showing us while we all have the same tendency to attract perpetrators who would steal us.
And it's like once you face it, then it dissolves
Yes,
because you faced it. You know what I mean?
yes.
So,
And usually when we are doing the constellation work, the family constellation work, usually, not always, it's not always the case, a perpetrator usually feels like, oh, I'm sorry that I did that to you all.
mhm.
And that sorry is a way of it's a big reconciliation between these two parties. Hmm.
And it's very deep and it touches the heart, and that's why you see the change happening.
Yes, exactly. So what else can we say is betrayal?
When we betray ourselves, Maya.
When we betray ourselves. Yes, when we promise I will go to the gym and I don't go to the gym. I'm breaking the promise. Breaking the promises. Who broke a promise when you were a child? Mom or dad? Because right then you feel like they betrayed you. And so usually you will find people who will break promises. So we will tell you, we're going to do this, and they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a promise that was broken. That's the root cause of conflict.
Yep. The
It's
root
easy,
cause.
simple. This is like math, right? That is an equation, and you need to find the result. I am the consequence of what my ancestors haven't resolved. And this is one of those issues
Mhm.
that we are working on liberating. because it's such an old energy. It's so strong. Lately, and I'm gonna be talking about this one that is a little bit harsh, but lately I've seen a lot of and even with the movie was The Sounds of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm.
abuse is a betrayal. I didn't give you permission to do what you did to me. Yes, but energetically, the family system is carrying the energy of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So this the one who is going to be the victim has more vulnerability and it has is carrying magnetizing someone to perpetrate her or him. And so it is sometimes hard to understand this from this point of view. But lately, I have been seeing a lot of cases of abuse, sexual abuse, um, uh, within the same family system, like the father or the grandpa, even the mother, which is like, wow, that I was like, wow, I'm trying to digest that one. But yes, how a mother would sell their child to other people and things that you would say, wow, that's bizarre, right? But
Mm.
why is this family system doing that? Where could be the root of this?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that has a root. Just think of this. For example, let's talk about slavery. They will bring right people, sell it to others, get money from it. And all of these women were abused. Think about colonization, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the conquistador came and took the land and took all the women and
Oh man, yeah.
they abused them. So
They
if
didn't
you
have a say. I mean, what a huge betrayal.
that's a betrayal. I don't know if you have seen that movie Frozen.
Yes, I
Yes, in
have.
Frozen,
Mm-hmm.
these two girls were having this issue because they were in charge of taking care of their kingdom, but there was something happening, and they needed to find why that was happening. So if you see that movie, you can get to these two girls went into their past to find a truth because there was a secret there. Secrets sometimes have a lot to do with betrayal.
Yes.
Yes. So these two girls had to go and find out that their grandpa had betrayed the indigenous,
Mm-hmm.
had told them that, yeah, we're gonna smoke the pipe of peace. And when they were sleeping, they killed them all. So that's a betrayal. Yes. And they took all of these women, for example, and there were girls since then, like little children, and all of it, and they were all abused. And this has been happening for so long, and we still have lots of cultures that marry children with people that are,
Way older than
way
them.
older than them. So,
In
um,
this day and this age, this at this time, it's kind of interesting to see that that still happens.
yes, and actually, it was accepted
Mm-hmm.
because if we think about in the courts, for example, the kings, they will marry men with these children, and that was accepted because that's what women were supposed to be, just a wife or a mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
No someone that has a value.
Right. The mother.
So
Yeah, we want the mother.
so where is that value? The
Mm.
value is lost. The value of women is lost from back then, and we are just working on recovering that, on understanding self-love, and um, there is a lot involved in that energy, a lot. So yeah, well, that's sort of a betrayal.
It's a juicy topic, but deep.
Mhm. Let's talk about lying.
Mm.
How do you feel when they lie to you?
Don't betray me like that. Just how you
Yes,
feel. Like, don't betray me like that.
It doesn't feel good at all.
Mm-mm.
No, because you trust, especially when you trust in someone you love, for example, and they lie to you. It's like, or they or they manipulate you.
Mhm.
um, that's sort of a betrayal. It bothers. It's annoying, and not only annoying, it hurts. It depends on how deep is your wound. It will hurt a lot. And
Mhm.
usually, the wound of betrayal, when they feel triggered, they get very upset. Beyond sadness, they get very upset. I
Yeah.
want revenge and all of it. It's like they really go on fire.
It's like they go to the other extreme in a sense, because
Yes,
the hurt is so deep. That's what it is. The hurt is so deep.
exactly. So just think about those little details, and just make a list of probably those experiences that you have had in your life. Is there infidelity? Did I went through infidelity at certain point in my life? With who? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, did someone lie to me? Did I lie to someone? Because we need to see our part as well. Have I betrayed my, let's say, boyfriend or girlfriend, my wife, my husband? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say, have I cheated on others? Have I manipulated others? Or have I been a victim of manipulation or abuse?
A lot of good questions to ask and observe. Observe.
Mhm. So this work is about self-observation. We don't want that to happen anymore to us, but then we must do our part as well.
Hmm.
Yes, it doesn't happen because of the other. It happens because we haven't healed it.
We always have to bring it back to us.
Yes. And it's not that the other part doesn't have a part in it, right? But it's always good to say, I take my part and I leave you with your part. Because the other one is always going to be that mirror and that possibility for me to, oh my gosh, why did I magnetize this into my life? Why did I attracted you? What did you come to show me, to teach me? Then I can liberate it once I include you. Oh, thank you. You
Hmm.
just came into my life to show me what I needed to see.
Hmm. That's very profound because it could be very painful, but in the end, you are very grateful because they show you what you needed to see to move on.
Yes, and so you can say, I take my part, but I can see you also have the same energy. So I
Hmm.
leave you with your part for whenever you feel like working on it. I'm working on mine and I'm taking responsibility for my part. And so instead of looking out there to that person, I look into my family system
Hmm.
and see them and say, so who betrayed who? A mom, dad?
That, yeah. And how deep back does it go?
Yes. Or did you feel betrayed by mom or dad
As well. Yes.
as well? Because also, if you see if that's the energy that is very
Pulsing.
pulsing in your family system, probably your mom feel the same with one of two, mom or dad. So who did mom feel betrayed by? By her mother or by her father?
Hmm.
And also on the other side, if you see your father, maybe your father has a tendency to betray. So maybe your father just check on your grandpas, grandpa and grandma from your father's side. Who did betray who? That I'm carrying the same energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with other person. I know some men, for example, that in my opinion, it has been a betrayal when, for example, women or their wives took everything for themselves
Mm.
and manipulated everything. for them not to have anything at the end when the relationship ended.
Who's guilty of that?
So I know many cases
Yeah, you
of
see that.
those, and that is that you're carrying a wound of betrayal.
Which is also a gift because now it opens you up, it brings you to the consciousness. So you start that healing process. But it's something that it's important to do the work with it.
Yes,
There's an opportunity to do a constellation with it to
exactly.
see.
Janet is a facilitator. Janet
Right.
graduated from the institute. Janet, what's your number?
So my number, if you want to do a constellation, I do it online or in person, is 407-460-5756. You can just DM me and then we can schedule an appointment.
Beautiful. So there you go. This is a possibility of change.
Mm.
We all must take responsibility of what we can heal from our family system, because some things are there that we haven't been able to consciously see and recognize. So we are living the same experiences, and so we invite you, if you haven't lived this experience, it's very profound. At the same time, it not only gives you the understanding, but it also gives you peace, and I would say compassion,
Yes, that's the big one. It does give you that compassion, that forgiveness.
forgiveness, and comprehension,
Mm.
where you would say, mm, now I see. And also when you do the experience, right? Because let's say we put the scene like an image, right? We put an image, and you will be able to reconcile it, because we can change any memory. It is in the past, yes, but we can change our past, because in the memory, in the field of memories, there is no past, there is no future. And since it's quantum, you can redesign the what happened there, and create order and equilibrium, and that'll be enough to heal it.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see what else. Oh, I have another one. mm, I had this case of this lady who had an issue because her brother wouldn't wanna share the inheritance.
Oh, that's a big, we see that one a lot.
So that feels like betrayal,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we must understand the root of it, because this woman, what happened was that the grandpa wouldn't give the daughter like what was uh, fair, let's say equal, but the grandpa gave the son most of the inheritance, because back then, remember, that men would think that women had no value, didn't know how to manage money or do businesses. And this woman felt like my brother took everything that was really productive, and what I have left is not much. So probably this daughter, and that was the case, felt betrayed by her father. It's like I'm not equal. It's like I don't have value. It's that you don't see me. Like I'm nobody. So I had this wound, and besides that, had anger. I feel betrayed because I felt like I'm not equal, like I'm not your
Right.
daughter, yes, and that I don't deserve. She had all of these sort of issues with deserving, with not being seen, with feeling betrayed, and finding men, usually men, because if you had an issue with your father, usually you attract a husband or a boyfriend who doesn't see you, who doesn't recognize you, who doesn't give you the value.
I'm like, oh, that's painful.
That's
That's
painful.
painful, yeah.
So yes, it's a whole dynamic, the whole dynamic of betrayal.
Oof. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I would say that that is my second wound to heal. I've been working so hard on it, doing a lot of constellation work.
I'm like, we both have been
We
working.
both have, yes,
We're working
Janet.
hard
I
on
know
that.
you are
Yeah.
too. I know your last memory, or it was a very hard one
Mhm.
to heal, and because it's not easy to have. How long was it that you were married for?
27 years.
27 years, and after 6 children, and all of a sudden, you know, someone else comes in the scene,
And I
and
did do that thing of having my little boy sleeping between us.
there you go. Because
So,
somehow there was no more of that. You allowed that.
mhm.
It's important to recognize that we allow that, because you're justifying, we are justifying, I don't want to be with you any longer. But usually that's also how maybe mom would do it with that.
Mhm.
And so there is a part of us that we want to take responsibility as maybe a partner, a wife, and having that intimacy. All of these conflicts happen because also, let's say, for example, let's give another example here. A man who prioritizes his mother before the wife.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
also
tough one.
a sort of a betrayal, because
Yes.
this wife feels like, well, I don't have a place in this system
Hmm.
because someone else has taken my place already, which is my mother-in-law.
That sometimes does not want to relinquish the place.
Exactly. So all of that has to do with the wound of betrayal.
Mm, deep, deep that one.
Oh, here she says, "Oh wow, agreed, Joanina. Oh wow, I just realized I'm doing that like mom."
There we go.
There you go. So I'm glad that you have something to internalize, to think about, to self-observe, and say, "Oh, that's why I have this tendency to attract this sort of betrayal into my life." It
Yes.
all it is not the other. Always just think of this. Always just keep this in your mind. It's not the other, even though the other is carrying the same energy. Because two with the same energy, of course, will attract.
That's the vibration. There we
That's the
go.
vibration. We are vibrating in the energy of
Hmm.
betrayal. You're vibrating in the energy of. Okay, let's make an agreement. Who's
Yeah.
going to be the victim? Who's going to be the perpetrator?
Yep.
There you go.
And until it's not accepted, you'll keep bringing it on. But you'll finish that one, do it again. Finish that one, do it again until you look.
Yes. Yes, because you go relationship after relationship, because the other one, the next one, is not going to betray me. But you cannot trust. You haven't worked that
You
trust
haven't walked that, yeah.
because the energy of betrayal is so strong in your system that I cannot trust. And for that, you need to constellate.
Yeah, it's
So you,
important to see where it comes from.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. And if we think beyond everything, Janet, and everybody who is there, no one betrays us. That's just a perspective.
Exactly.
Many times I would say that this relationship, it already happened. Maybe we were together just to have children
Right, exactly. Hmm.
and not to be the true relationship, right? And then you learn something with this person, just move on. Of course, it is better when someone tells you that before going and moving on with another person, right? It feels better because it feels like you feel like
The
they are
res-
respecting you.
right, the respect was
Like,
there.
like I see you and I see where you are and I see where I am and I want to be honest. We always appreciate honesty. Always.
Always, always.
Yes. So what we can change, right, is that instead of doing it behind, maybe I should just say, well, if I don't feel it here anymore, then I'm going to move on. But I'm going to be respectful to this person who I had children with, who I grew in many ways with.
Right, yeah.
And that's love. Just saying, I don't feel happy and I'm not making you happy. So it's sometimes it's more loving to let go of the other, to go find the one, or find that happiness somewhere else, because I cannot give you that happiness. Or just being honest to yourself and saying, I'm not happy here, and I'm betraying myself if I keep staying here.
And that's a tough life. That's a tough life right there. I mean, we don't
Mhm.
see it, we don't think about it because we're in it. So sometimes when you're in it, you can't see far beyond the tree, but it's tough.
Yes. So we have some work to do. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's what we came here to do. So let's enjoy
Yes.
it and let's do it.
Yes. Thank you, Giovannina, for joining us and for sharing. We so love it. And I guess that's all we wanted to
For today,
share for
what's
today.
for next week?
Oh, next week we'll be talking about the wound of humiliation.
Humiliation. So
Humiliation.
we'll see you next week. Stay tuned and please hit the like
Yes, please. Or the hearts,
and
or
the
share.
heart. Share to the people that you don't think will even be interested.
We
Because
love you too. We love you too, Giovannina. Yes, what would you
share, I
say?
was saying share with everybody, even people you don't think that are interested.
Mm-hmm.
Because people waking up, people want to understand why these things happen to them. And you can
True.
say, I don't think she'll like it, but let me give it to her anyway.
Mhm.
And you'll be surprised. That's what happened to me.
It's true. It's like, well, you don't know if the person will resonate or is
Hmm.
so ready to see or confront their truth that they will say, oh my God, I never saw it that way. But yeah, probably it is. And that is already healing. When
Hmm.
someone can say, ooh, never saw it this way, but I can see it now. And I can see how I am so hooked, because you just engage in this energy.
Hmm.
And then you can, change it from there. Say, okay, let's do some changes. And the integration of the energy is very important. Just to say, yes, I magnetize that energy because it is in my genetics,
Hmm.
or I do it because it is part of my information. So I am redesigning my information so I won't do it again, or I won't accept it again. And then the change
The
happens.
change happens. And we're like,
Yay! And the whole heaven is like, bravo!
yay! She got it. He got it.
Yes, exactly.
So,
So before we leave, we want to remind you, for the ones that came late, that we have our shamanic drumming circle tomorrow at 7. So if you're interested, send me a text through WhatsApp, 321-900-5680 is tomorrow at 7. It's not only drumming. We do drumming, but in this way that I learned from my shaman teacher, Heidi, and I'm honoring her knowledge by sharing it with others. So we do journey to the spirit with drumming, and we also do expression of what the spirit gave us, and we do channeling, and we do sharing, and we hold space for each other, and it's just our tribe, our true loving,
beautiful
um,
community.
beautiful tribe. So
Yes.
welcome to join us. And also, we are also registering people who would be interested on having this training program, and we're having the training program in February in Daytona or
In
Daytona.
Daytona, yeah. Just join
Daytona.
our, you definitely sign up, join our waiting list. We already have a couple people registered, so we
Mhm.
definitely would love you to have it if you feel called to it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and it's limited to 20 people. And if you are interested, call this number.
407 460 5756. Call me to find out about the intro. Call me if you want to do a little family constellation, and also to find out also about the institution and doing the
The Institute, Systemic Healing
I went
Institute.
blank. Systemic Healing Institute, absolutely.
No
And
age limit. That age is just the perspective of the mind.
right, well, definitely above 18. That's yeah. But
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, I actually had a young person once. No, but she was 23, I believe. She was the
Yeah, I would
youngest.
say because probably we don't have an age limit, but they have to be really
Yeah.
mature. You know what I mean? Ready for this. And some people are 18 or
Yes. I've
and we're
seen.
not,
Oh,
but are definitely 18, 21.
definitely. It is a call.
It's a call. Yeah.
It's a call. It doesn't have any age. It is a call. So just remember to buy
The book,
Alchemy for
yeah,
the Soul.
buy the book, and then we have the program,
And then we have the Soul's Journey.
and then join our waiting list for the training in February.
Yes, Soul's Journey in Hot
Hot
Mart.
Mart.
And my cat is here trying to say I'm
Wants to
hungry.
type.
So so we gotta go, but we're sending you blessings and love, and we hope to see you next week.
All right. Bye
Thank you,
bye. Yeah,
Janet.
exciting. Yes. Nice. Good work.
Yes.